So why should anyone get into kayaking in 2022?
Because it's the best sport in the world.
That's the reason to do it.
So I'm on my way to meet up with Matt. He messaged me earlier in the week to say that he was going to be kayaking in my area, and so I offered to go and film him. But I had an idea in the meantime, which was to interview him and ask him a few questions about kayaking and that sort of thing. But I don't want him to know that I'm interviewing him, so I'm just going to try and slip these questions into conversation and see if he notices. Here he is.
One.
Very good, very good.
That was a really wet one.
What's your least favourite thing about kayaking?
Water. Cold water specifically. No, actually that's not true. Wind. Wind is my least favourite thing. Oh, I'll take that. It's getting wet. That's all that's happening here. Wetness.
So why should anyone get into kayaking in 2022?
Why should someone get into kayaking in 2022?
Yes.
Because it's the best sport in the world.
What's your best kayaking achievement today?
I think the thing I'm working on achieving at the moment is being content every time I go out paddling. Not trying to be someone or something I'm not. Like not getting frustrated if the day isn't perfect, whatever that looks like. Rolling with the punches and enjoying being where I am on the water with my friends. 90% of the time, achieved.
You're literally steaming.
It's steaming.
You're like actually steaming.
A wise friend of mine once said that you shouldn't wash your thermals because all of the bacteria living in them make them warmer.
That is definitely not true.
Tom Clare. I don't know if there's a world record for putting a boat on a car. speed, you know.
What about the world record for how quickly it falls off the back while striking? I bet there's a record for that.
Only ever done that once. We don't talk about it.
Alright, so what's your favourite thing about kayaking?
My favourite thing about kayaking is my friends, the community. I love how supportive the kayaking community is. I suppose it probably is the same in many sports where you have, or well, not necessarily just sports, you know, pastimes where you have groups of people who are like-minded and generally friendly and pleasant to hang out with. But yeah, I think kayaking's to some degree unique in that because it is a very special combination of people who enjoy the outdoors, people who enjoy sport to some degree, but probably not traditional sport, and also people who are willing to take care of you as well. You know, there is an element of risk and there is an element of needing to look after each other in kayaking and have your friends' backs, and I think that develops very, very strong friendships very, very quickly.
I know you answered jokingly, but genuinely, like, what is your least favourite thing about kayaking?
Oh, it was a joke, but I'm absolutely serious. Cold water and wind. Those are my two least favourite things about kayaking. From a personal standpoint, I suppose, like comfort-wise, those are my two least favourite things. I think my least favourite things about kayaking as well at the moment are head cam footage. There you go. There's something I really hate. I appreciate that, you know, for some people that's just for their personal capturing the journey and that sort of thing, and that's fine. Or for personal progression, that's totally fine as well. If you're watching yourself paddle and trying to work it out, but I think from that perspective, you can gain better by getting someone to film you from the bank because you see more of what you're doing. Yeah. And how often are you actually going to go back and watch that stuff?
Some shaky
head cam footage. Getting into paddle sport generally has probably never been easier, especially like since lockdown. Paddle sport, SUP paddling especially, has exploded in the UK. But yeah, it's never been easier. There's such a proliferation of available gear at an affordable price, which is good. You do have to be a bit careful what you're buying, where you're buying it. Be careful with eBay, be careful with Facebook Marketplace. But
that's just a good rule.
That's just a good rule of life. Yeah. There are plenty of really excellent clubs that are increasingly offering stuff for the huge number of people that are getting into paddle sport, which is amazing. If you're wanting to get into whitewater, I think the best advice I could give would be join a local club. If you're fortunate enough to be near a whitewater river or an artificial centre in the UK, then find a club that's attached to that river or centre maybe, or that goes there regularly, because that will give you the best chance to learn and progress quickly if that's something you're interested in. Don't rush into getting all the gear. That would be another bit of advice I'd give if you want to get into kayaking. Most clubs have stuff that you can test out and try and learn what you will enjoy. Get the things that will enable you to paddle comfortably and in a sustained way through all seasons.
So like clothing
wise, yeah, like 100%. Yeah. I would not buy a boat first thing. Get yourself a decent wetsuit when you're first starting out, probably, because you're more likely to be swimming more. So being wet in a wetsuit is fine.
Plus wetsuits are cheaper than
they're cheaper than dry suits, exactly. Yeah, if you've got money to splash, by all means, get a dry suit straight away and get some decent thermals, because that will infinitely improve your experience. But yeah, if you're a beginner, especially if you're starting in the summer, a decent-ish wetsuit, a 3-4 or even a 4-5 if you're preparing for winter, and a good dry cag. Those are probably the things that will make the difference between you having a good time learning and a bad time learning. If it's winter as well, consider like pogies, gloves, hats, and warm clothes that you can change into afterwards as well. Like that makes a huge difference for comfort and therefore your learning experience. Yeah. Sorry, that was a massive rambly answer to the question.
No, it was a good answer. It was only several minutes.
Excellent.
So for reals this time, because this is the thumbnail of your video. Why should anyone get into kayaking in 2022?
Why should anyone get into kayaking in 2022? I suppose similarly to what I was saying about my favourite element of the sport is the people, the community. We have a really strong community.
of people who are really supportive, really friendly, people who are just excited to get out and share in beautiful environments, usually beautiful. If you're paddling like me in Southampton, you're in a car park next to a drainage ditch. But hey, most kayaking locations in the wild are much nicer than this. And people are generally excited to share that together. And that's, I think, one of the best elements of kayaking is the community.
Nice.
That's the reason to do it. Nailed it.
Thank you very much for watching. I know that the format of this video was slightly different to my normal ones. In fact, it's been quite a few strange format videos recently. But thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed it, then let me know in the comments below. Say whether you'd like to see interview style videos with other kayakers, because that's something that I would be interested in doing as well. So if that's something that interests you, then we can make it happen. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.